We're back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sponsored Content. I am your host. Today on Spawn Storytime, we are going to be covering Spawn issue number 18. My neighbor is blowing some leaves across the street. I hope you cannot hear it. Before getting into this, let's find out what happened in the last issue. In issue number 17, Big Daddy Bulge is taking delight in Spawn's suffering. He airlifts Spawn to Simmonsville for an all-you-can-eat buffet of grief. He explains what this place is, what psychoplasm is, and that psychoplasm makes up Spawn's physical form. Heaven unleashes their holy warrior, the Anti-Spawn, who whoops Spawn's ass pretty good. Simmonsville starts to burn to the ground, and Major Vale prepares to go inside. Maybe he's looking to be promoted or something. Spawn teleports away, but Anti-Spawn is all over him like white on rice, and at the end of the issue we see that Anti-Spawn is in a pretty powerful position over a pretty rough-looking Spawn. So we're going to continue on with our story here in issue number 18. Issue number 18 was released on February 1st, 1994, depicting artwork from Greg Capullo with Spawn, sort of grief-stricken, sort of like finding himself in his own grave. If you recall, when he'd gone there, he wasn't really sure what he was going to find. He really didn't want to find himself, I think, but alas, that was not the case. So pretty sweet, like almost horrific / Halloween-y artwork here in a way, but it's a pretty sweet-ass cover. I really dig the green in the Spawn logo. Let's get right into it. Issue number 18. We pick back up in issue number 18 in the alleyway in aftermath of Anti-Spawn and Spawn's battle. We meet Dipper. Dipper, he is Dipper now, but he didn't always used to be Dipper. Marty used to be his name. Marty was a Nom. He was a Nom soldier. You know, they had one rule in Nom. It was basically watch your buddy's six. You know, one time he did not, and that kind of haunts him to this day. So he kind of became an alcoholic, you know, when he came back from Nom. And in this moment, him seeing like Spawn getting whooped on, you know, he feels like they should do something. There's a few bums there, and he wants to kind of make right this situation. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to watch Spawn's back. Now as Anti-Spawn is standing nearly triumphant over Spawn, he says, look, it's easy to die. Promises he's going to make it hurt really bad, and then all of a sudden, Dipper just knocks him right upside his head with an iron pipe. And he's like, I gotta watch out for my buddies. And Anti-Spawn's like, what the hell are you even talking about? He calls him filth, and he says he's gonna burn his eyes out. And then the bums are like, you know, I don't really think so. This is our turf. Basically, if you're here and you've got beef with Spawn, you've got beef with all of us. You got beef with this broken bottle. You got beef with this board with nails and shit in it, and certainly this little knife here. Anti-Spawn's like, you don't know what you're facing. Obviously, look at me. And they're kind of like, you know, we deal with Spawn a lot, and he's pretty freakish too, so we're really not as scared as you might think. This distracts Anti-Spawn long enough for Spawn to sort of stand back up and kind of catch his bearings. He's like, that's enough, buddy. These bum homies of mine, they are under my protection. Spawn says, you got that? Bada kroom! He uppercuts him, sort of like Mike Tyson or some shit. And then Anti-Spawn blasts Spawn another time. Only he's a little disoriented maybe, and this blast isn't really all that much. But Spawn's costume howls anyway, because it's not really in the best shape. Like his health bar, I haven't seen his gauge in a while, but it's probably getting pretty depleted. Spawn knows that he must move in fast. Spawn recognizes that he's still very weak, and that he cannot allow the Anti-Spawn to gain an advantage. So we see the Anti-Spawn now leaping forward really heroically, really heavenly. He's like, you know what, you think you can hurt me? I am Heaven's soldier. They basically cooked me in like an easy bake oven in the atmosphere, and I'm here now to whip your ass. So he's like ultra confident. He's new. He doesn't really know maybe what it's capable of or its certain limitations. Anti-Spawn says, I'll show you pain. You know, this is what I feel what I feel. It's like a lot of fire and heavenly, you know, elemental, holy fire shit. Spawn's like, damn, that hurts a lot, actually. Reminds me kind of like what Angela was trying to do to me, maybe. So Spawn's kind of really getting the brunt of this. So he's getting a lot of this elemental fire just right into him. And just before he passes out, he musters all the strength he has to sock Anti-Spawn in the face yet again. Now he's kind of regained his composure enough. He's like wailing on him. Looks like the bums are kind of cheering him on, like Fight Club or something. And Spawn kind of recognizes that maybe the Anti-Spawn has like a power limitation, much like himself. So he's like, I think this dude has used up a lot of his power and he doesn't really even know it yet. So Spawn is like, this is my opportunity. He's like, you know, I'm gonna fuck you up. And then Anti-Spawn's like, you know, I'm gonna kill you actually. So Spawn's sort of collecting all of the Hellborn power he can muster at this point. He is just directing all of that into this poor sucker's head. He's like, welcome to the real world, bastard. Real world Rat City, where people stop being polite and start being Spawn. He says, have a nice day, punches him right through the face, shattering his metal-ass spiked helmet, sort of. And then we see Anti-Spawn on the ground, screaming in agony. He's kind of got light emanating from his face now. He's sort of cracked open. He's mumbling, I'll kill you, I'll kill you, I'll kill you. Spawn's like, tell me about it. And he's mustered just so much power now. He is like looking like a teleport, but I think he's just got so much power in and around him. He's directing it all into the Anti-Spawn. He is basically obliterating him into nothing. We see the Anti-Spawn completely collapsed and defeated, smoking and smoldering here. Spawn's like, I think I got him. And then this is, I think, Dipper again. He's like, dude, I hit him, but, I did the best I could. I gotta watch out for my buddies, right? Spawn says, sure, Dipper, you did the right thing. And they're like, holy crap, what is he doing now? There's just like a blinding light, and then he kind of disappears. So he gets zapped back into the Angel Station high above the Earth. They're basically like, you know what, this is a test run, really nothing more. Hellspawn, we thought he was strong, but he's much stronger maybe. Basically, they're going to imbue Jason Wynn here, unwillingly, of course, because he's just burning inside. He's basically asking for them to kill him. It just hurts so bad, but they're like, nah, we're good with that. We're going to fire you up with a little bit more of our holy energy here. And Jason Wynn's like, no more, please. Spawn says, I don't know what in the hell that was all about, but I'm super glad it's over. And this gentleman pops up and he's like, I heard you might be dumb, but like, seriously, you think this is over? And he goes on to explain, like, if heaven goes to all the trouble to create an Anti-Spawn and they come down and like you spank them and send them back to heaven, you think that's it? And Spawn's like, okay, what's an Anti-Spawn? And who are you? I didn't even see your ass earlier. And he's like, sure you did. You saw me. You saved me. I didn't need it, but you did. He's like, you remember in issue number 9, you met one of us, a gentleman named Cagliostro. You made him like a box of wine, which he walked off with, to be never seen again. But he explains that like heaven and hell aren't really the only players in this game. There exist other agencies and powers, like, rogue entities that really have no allegiance to either side. And that in a way, he may be able to undo the deal he made with Malbolgia and keep his powers, which sounds pretty awesome. But he's like, you can beat the devil. And Spawn's like, what are you talking about? Explain yourself. So this guy gives him a card. It's blank and mysterious. And the dude's like, only right now. And when the time comes, they'll be in touch. So yet again, Spawn has more questions for another day. And right now there's something else that he really wants to tend to. So now Spawn goes back to Simmonsville, and he's like, you know what, you stole my memories, you sent me to hell, and you've created this terrible place. Jason Wynn and his like lackeys are using it as sort of an experimentation ground. You basically took everything that I was and everything that I loved, and you made a perversion of it, and he's going to take it back. So he's accessed his Call of Duty arsenal. He's like, ka-chak, boom, and he starts to blow the hell out of Simmonsville. Basically the only way he knows how, which is like a lot of militarized weaponry. We see Major Vale pop up behind him, and he's like, show yourself, because somehow he's been like walking around Simmonsville, and he hasn't like gotten murdered by a demon yet. But so he confronts Spawn a bit, and Spawn's like, well, you don't remember me, but I certainly remember you. You and Jason Wynn are basically one and the same. I hate you both pretty much equally, but maybe Jason Wynn more. He mentions Ecuador, and yada yada yada. The dude's like, give me an answer, that's an order, because like this dude is straight delusional. He maybe has like a Napoleon complex. Again, he's a major, so he's not a general or like anything. Spawn's like, you know what, maybe I just got sick of taking orders from assholes like you. And Spawn's like, I'm really in a better position right now, looking like this, to give the order, so I've got an order for you. He tells him to drop dead. He shoots him right in the right eye, just a single eye. Like, he doesn't blow his whole ass head off, because now people can like walk up and see like who this is and what happened to him. Spawn says he wishes this made him feel better, but it really doesn't. So he watches as Simmonsville burns and crumbles, the house where he grew up, the watering hole where he used to get drunk, parks and schools and just everything. His life is going up in flames. So he says everything that was human is gone except for one thing, this memory of him and Wanda on the lake, a beautiful sunlit spring day when he asked Wanda to marry him. He says it was the best day of his life, and he uses his mind to collapse this whole scene, this beautiful scene, and he shapes that psychoplasm into something more manageable, sort of a little pink ball here, and he reduces this all down to a single spark. This like amazing memory is now just a little speck of pinkish power. So he wants to go place this somewhere safe. Back in Queens, New York, we're at the house of Wanda Blake. She's looking out the window yet again, checking out the rain. She's in her nightie. It looks like they're kind of winding down for the night. Terry's there. He's asking Wanda if she's okay. She's like, I'm just kind of thinking, and whatever. Spawn's out there. He's got this pink power. He says, Wanda, I've saved this for you. It's basically a really awesome memory of them. So he kind of like, shoots a kiss. He blows a kiss over her way with it, and it kind of like smacks her in the face a bit. And Terry's like, what's going on? She's maybe crying now. She's like super affected by this memory, this feeling, this really warm, awesome feeling. It was here and then it was gone. Spawn being super emotional, says he loves her. And then Terry's like, come to bed. And then Spawn's like, everything's dark. Everything goes dark. That's my life. That's okay. At this point, I'm used to it. And in our final shot, we see Spawn leaping through the darkness, exclaiming darkness is his home now, looking just ultra sweet. Maybe one of the coolest depictions of Spawn in action that we've seen so far in 18 issues. This is Greg Capullo art here. Just looking really sweet, really like the rain and the chains and the menacing face. He's got like sort of less of a baked potato head, but more of a moon head right now. But still awesome nonetheless. That's been issue number 18, the conclusion to a 3-part story arc brought to us courtesy of Grant Morrison, in which we found Spawn sort of on a journey to find himself in a way. We learned what Simmonsville was, we learned what psychoplasm is, and all around just kind of a really fun 3-issue run with a lot of action. Anyway, this has been sponsored content with yet another episode of Spawn Storytime. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again.
Boom Jack 11.